you. We are pleased to be meeting with you in this fashion and are eager to discuss with you anything you so choose to know more of yourself. Hello.
Hello, Vagrein. Thank you for the opportunity to talk to you again.
We thank you.
Do you have any messages for me?
Only that you are on your journey on the correct path. Of course, you cannot be on the incorrect path, but you can have faith that everything is going according to your own plans, your own desires, your own intentions, and that in your feeling good in each potential moment in which you can feel good or reach that energy, you are heading in the correct directions.
Thank you. You are aware of my conversation with the archangels, with Theo, the other days. I want to ask you about my work.
Yes, you
place.
can. And we do have access. However, in it being so vast, because that conversation was not only verbal, but energetic and non-linear, though presented in linear fashion, it can be difficult to refer to specifics. And so when we would interact with you based upon some conversation that you've had, whether it be with energetics or another being, what we are most interested in is your perception of it, for that would reveal to us in your sharing of that what would be most of benefit for us to then subsequently share upon that topic in this new now moment.
Okay, thank you. I want to leave the 9 to 5 job that I'm doing at the institute, but they said to me that wait to start my own business because will be more financially secure for me. Sorry.
We would agree in that there's no need to leave before you start. In other words, in this now moment, you have this experience that has not yet arrived at its culmination. You are not in major discomfort in your situation, and we are not saying necessarily that major discomfort will arrive, but you are excited for your future, for your business, and they are not mutually exclusive. In other words, yes, you do have a commitment to a 9 to 5 position. First off, you may find ways to negotiate that is not exactly as it is in the format that it is now. Secondly, you can begin your business in this now moment from 5 to 9, which are many more hours than the 9 to 5. And we do agree, yes, of course, there is sleeping and eating and maintaining of your physical vessel that has to occur in that time. There is the discharging of energy. There is the enjoyment that you would like to have in the rest of your life. But you do have this energy in you that is calling you towards your new endeavors. If you can find ways to begin those new endeavors before you need to leave this particular situation, then you will find that the sailing will be smoother. That is not to say that if at any given point in time there is a 100% knowing that it is time to go, that you should ignore that. You can also see what would happen and experiment with. The one thing we cannot, however, assure you is that the experiences that you have would be of your particular now moment perception of what is preference, because you do have a desire also for comfort, also for stability. So right now, the situation, the scenario that you are in is providing much of what you do desire. Not that you have to stay there forever, not that this will be the case forever, but that there are things that are being fulfilled by that particular role in this now that can continue to be fulfilled while you are already moving in the direction of everything else that you are wanting.
Thank you. Do this scenario of my workplace, I drop to myself the discussion with the colleagues, the hate from them to me. It's a much word hate, but this is what I feel.
Can you please rephrase the question?
Yes, my colleagues, they don't like me very much, and they try to undermine me with my bosses, with my boss. Did I draw this situation upon me?
Well, all situations are of your choosing. Yes, we know that they may not be of your preference, but they are indeed what is being called towards you in order to facilitate everything else that you are wanting. As you know, if your particular job in this now moment was way too comfortable, perhaps you would not be inspired into the next version and the next phase of yourself. So you can begin to think of these colleagues as collaborative components in creating an environment that is uncomfortable just enough for you to have an idea that perhaps it would be better for you to be doing something else in the long term. Perhaps it would be better for you to be moving on eventually. For if these colleagues were your besties and had been supportive of you in that role and had wanted you around at all times and were fulfilling many of your other desires for a wonderful social life, for deep friendships, for connection, it would not be quite so easy to leave this job eventually when the moment comes that that is the case for you. So yes, you have called it towards you, but for a specific purpose. And in this discomfort, you are motivating yourself in many ways to say, well, you know what? It is okay if I leave this job eventually because it does not matter. And the good news is I will not have to see these horrendous people from a day-to-day basis any longer.
Yes. And to start my own business, I need to talk to an attorney. Do you know that the person I want to talk to, that woman, it's okay for me to do that?
Well, this is one of those cases where you already know the answer. How do you feel about this?
I think it's yes.
Then it is yes, because of course you could have attracted also another being that you did not have a knowing about. So this is an opportunity to trust yourself. Does not necessarily mean, again, as nothing ever does, that every single one of your preferences will get met from the space in which you have preferences in this now moment. What it does mean, however, is that when you have a solid knowing that something is correct for you in this now moment, it is leading you to more of knowing of yourself, more of experiences that are correct for you. So if it feels like a yes to interact with this particular professional on this particular topic, then yes, you may and shall go ahead and interact with them. It does not mean that they will not pass the case off to a colleague. It does not mean that you might, in that moment, when you meet with this person, suddenly have a new knowing that it is not appropriate from that new now moment to continue that relationship. But you can have faith in each now moment that you do have access to your knowing and that you can, in each now moment, make new choices from the information that you are providing for yourself.
Okay, so I should call her and start the arrangement for my private practice psychology.
Yes, you can call her. We are not going to say you should, but if it feels correct for you to do so, then it is in your benefit to do so.
Okay, thank you. You are aware that I started channeling again. I have a questions. I don't know which Mary I channeled, Mary Magdalene or Mother Mary of Jesus. Can you shed light on that?
Yes, we will say something that perhaps has not been said frequently, but there is no coincidence that they are holding the same name. In that,
Yes.
this is a case of the manifestation of the same or similar, but we would even say same frequency energy being incarnate simultaneously. And
great.
the proximity to the character in the centralized aspect of that story and the proximity of these two beings is a framing of that character with complete support. So you can confidently assume that you are tapping into that universal frequency of what is known as Mary, and it does encompass both of those historical and archetypal figures.
Great. I want to ask you to, I want to develop in the transmedium channel, not just clairaudient. I can do that, but how I can do that?
So we will share that the mechanism, the only difference between the two, is how much detachment the vessel chooses to step into. And if you would like to imagine yourself walking into a deep pool of water, some will walk to their midriff and others can be completely submerged. There is no benefit of one over the other, except that perhaps the comfort of the vessel is perceived differently. In full trance, there is no need for the mind to do very much. It is relaxing. Whereas when there are channels who are transmitting when the mind is active, they do have to have quite a bit of struggle at times to make sure there's clarity, to make sure that they are transmitting correctly. And even your trance channels are not exempt from this control, but it is more relaxing, more like floating. Not everyone feels safe to submerge themselves in a complete state of that particular frequency of their consciousness, but everyone is capable of it because you do go to sleep every night. You do detach from your physical vessel, or it is never detached, but you do detach from your awareness of being attached to your physical vessel every single day. Believing you are safe is a good place to start. Understanding why you have this desire might reveal to you a block into the realization of it. So if there is emotion around having this desire, some level of frustration or doubt, concern, you can investigate that and dismantle any beliefs that you have on that. But the capability is there for all of you. You specifically do have this capability quite present for you. And it might be a question of time or practice, simply to allow yourself to believe that that depth is available to you. We will also say that this particular vessel in first transmissions, while in a state similar to a full trance, was not at all in what would be then transmitted in the way that we speak now. We would transmit slower. Everything was being filtered through or checked out by the personality, the active conscious individuation or awareness of self of this particular vessel, because they did not trust us. And that is okay. Trust is earned, especially as you humans. But ultimately, what they realized was it was never about trusting the message. It was about trusting the self, that at any moment in time, they could come out of trance. This is also an important thing to know about your abilities, that they cannot take you over because they are you. So we hope that some of this advice does help. Again, practice is what will allow you to come more into that particular modality, but there is no value inherent of one over the other.
Yes, practice. You mean by start channeling on
Yes.
the record? Okay.
Yes.
I want to develop in transmedium because then my questions about clarity or the clearance of the message will disappear. This is my. I will not be in control because now I hear
Yes.
the messages
Yes.
and I can interfere.
We will assure you that one of the reasons why trance channeling does not occur for you then is because you have these doubts.
Okay. Okay.
The doubts have to go first.
Okay, thank you.
We thank you.